for those of you who are familiar with Loudoun County, you guys know Route 15, okay? A monstrosity of a road. It's the only road, it's a two-lane highway that goes from Virginia to Maryland, and Maryland, Virginia, and all the cars in the state cross that road. Well, I used to live in Luckett's, Virginia, and Luckett's, Virginia, my driveway was 750 foot long, and it led right down to Route 15. So you could say that we were in the boonies. We didn't have cable. We had internet that was satellite, so we were pretty far back on the road. Well, it was a beautiful place, but when it snowed, we had a tendency to get snowed in big. Well, 5 years ago, if you guys recall, we had the blizzard. The blizzard, not like what they're calling for tomorrow, but like 3-4 feet. And they were calling for this blizzard a week out. Well, it just happened to coincide at the exact same time that my wife was going down to New Orleans to spend 10 days with her family. Now, when she told me that, I didn't hear the part where she says, I'm going down to New Orleans to spend time with my family. Don't forget to hire a plow to plow you out. I heard going away for 10 days, so it was a vacation to me. It was just going to be me and my dog, and I was thrilled. But I didn't listen to her, or I was like, whatever, I got it. I'll hire someone. So she goes away, and I'm like getting all excited and kind of reverting back to when I was 12 years old remember when at the time it was the radio, we would gather around the radio listening to the school closings because it was going to be snowing. It was kind of exciting. I don't know what I was thinking to be excited about being snowed in. I guess I got caught up in this romantic notion of being snowed in with nothing to do but drink beer and wine and sit around and watch whatever I wanted on TV. So that's why I blacked out and didn't listen to my wife, because I was just focused on that. So I went to the grocery store, bought all the essentials, lots of beer and wine, bag of potato chips, and waited for the snow to come down. Well, when it started snowing, it's probably mid-afternoon, and it started coming down hard. I said, well, I got this. You know, I'm not going to call anyone. I mean, I'm a big boy. I'll call someone tomorrow. Well, calling someone tomorrow during a blizzard is like preparing a nice romantic dinner with your wife on Valentine's Day and not calling the restaurant until Valentine's Day morning. Ain't no one going to come. They're all too busy plowing, Targets and the Walmarts of the world. But I didn't think about that. And the snow started falling down, and I thought it'd be a good idea to have some wine and hop in my car and just drive back and down the driveway for an hour. And I would go back inside and take a wine break. I took a couple of sips or a couple of gulps, and I'd get back into the car and just drive up and down the driveway. I kind of felt like a rebel. It was like ridiculous. Like, what I'm going to do is, as the snow falls, I'm going to put ruts in the driveway. That's 700 feet long. So when I wake up tomorrow morning, no problem, I got it. I'll just look at my ruts and I'll be able to drive right out. So I go to bed. I did a pretty good job. I went to bed with about a foot of snow on the ground, but I could clearly see the gravel where I was driving back and forth. So, man, I'm all set. It's going to be a bust anyway. They talk about major snowstorms around here all the time, and we don't get nothing. Well, this time we got some. I looked out my window first thing in the morning, and I saw between 3.5 and 5 feet of snow. I didn't see my car anymore. I didn't see the trees, didn't see the fence, didn't see the bushes. I couldn't even see Route 15. Now, my front yard has a bluff on it, okay? So you can really only see about 500 feet. You can't quite see 15 yet, so the view is partially blocked. I just knew one thing. I was fucked. Because this romantic notion I had about, man, it'd be cool to be home alone and do whatever I want, watch TV with my hand down my pants and drink wine all day. I'm too anxious for that. I always have been. If I stuck inside, I turn into a cutter. I mean, I can't stand it. So I was like, all right, well, I got to call someone. So the first guy called, and by the way, this is to cover my ass because my wife was coming home 2 days later. So first guy called, and he said $350. I'm like, screw you, $350. It's a driveway. And he hung up. Well, what am I going to do? So I pondered it, and I did what any sane, rational person does when you need something done or you have to get rid of your shit or anything else. You go to Craigslist because Craigslist is really respectable and safe. So I went to Craigslist, and I put a call out, said, hey, Now, the blizzard's still coming down. I was preparing for tomorrow. $250 cash, get rid of my snow. Driveway's 750 foot long, so there's gonna be a lot of snow, but I gotta get out. Well, 15 was still shut down by this point, but the good news is I started getting all the highest quality of people calling me. Very awesome people. The people were saying, yeah, I'll do it. Me and my whole family will come out there with our snow blowers, which I didn't mind. I didn't care as long as it was done, but they were all wanting to charge a whole lot more. Then finally this one guy called. He said, look, I live down in Manassas and I do this for a living. I'll be up there tomorrow morning, no problem. I'll get you out. I'll bring my equipment up. I know exactly where you live. And you guys know where the cigarette outlet is in Luckett's? It's a fucking gas station, but they call it a cigarette outlet. All right, so I know exactly where you go. I'll be there tomorrow. Hallelujah. So now I can relax. I'm like, I'm not going to get in trouble with my wife. I don't have to hear about it from her because, when she called during the blizzard, she said, did you get someone? Oh, yeah, I got someone. I just kind of let it ride. Well, the next morning rolls around. I get my cup of coffee, and he calls. He said, look, there's no parking on 15. What I need to do is I'm going to take my car up to the cigarette outlet park, and it's only about 1,000 feet away, and I will bring my equipment and start getting to work. I said, hallelujah, man. I said, well, I got your $250 cash here. We're all set. You want a cup of coffee? No, I'm going to get right to work when I get there. I'm like, great. So I hadn't even walked out yet. I mean, I don't know if any of you have walked through waist or chest deep snow, but it's exhausting. Exhausting. And so he shows up, calls, I'm getting to work, and I look, and hallelujah, he's getting to work, and I look off in the distance, and I see snow like a big rooster tail flying in the air. I'll say, I'm going to be out of here in no time. Get a cup of coffee, watching some TV, and half an hour later, I look outside again, and I still see snow flying in the air in the same spot. It moved a little bit, just a little bit, but it's still flying in the air. But again, I couldn't see over the bluff. Another 30 minutes goes by. I look out there again, and there's the same freaking rooster tail in the same spot. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So now I'm like, dang it, man, So I get my snow gear on, I get a couple cups of coffee, and I trudge through there. And it took me 25 to 30 minutes to go 700 feet. And I'm in pretty good shape. I mean, I know it doesn't look like it with this physique. But I was like, 10 steps, breath, 10 steps, breath. And I get to the top of the bluff and I look down. And the gentleman was there doing the snow, but the set equipment that he brought to the cigarette outlets to do my snow consisted of a fucking shovel. One shovel. It was one guy and a shovel, and I had 200,000 cubic feet of snow behind me. I looked at my house, it was a tic-tac. I was so far out. And I did the math in my head. I was like, it's going to take this guy 72 hours nonstop to shovel this driveway. I mean, how does someone think about it? I'm like, all right, well, what am I going to do? So I walked down to him, trudged down. He's got a cigarette. Speaking of cigarettes, he's got a cigarette, and he's lighting cigarettes with cigarettes. And he is shoveling like freaking mate. He's going nuts. And he did about 50 feet, and it was awesome. But I looked at him, and he was wearing a hoodie. He was wearing red underwear. I'll explain. Jeans with a back pocket ripped off, hence the red underwear. Boots and a baseball hat, and smoking like crazy. He stood up, and he was like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, his voice didn't match his body. He was like Rick Astley from the 1980s, It just didn't quite look like he should be speaking like this. And he stood up, and the guy I'm 6'3", 6'4". He was every bit as tall as me, sinewy, but looks strong. Okay? He had a face mask on. I said, hold on a second, can I talk to you? He's like, yeah. So he threw the cigarette down on my ground, lit another cigarette. He said, what's up? And I said, he pulled his mask off like Khan in The Wrath of Khan. And I must have seen way too much Law and Order growing up. I don't know a lot about tattoos, but I knew that I had promised this guy $250, and he had a fucking teardrop tattoo, and that means that he's killed someone. I mean, isn't that what a teardrop tattoo means? It means they killed someone, and not accidentally. It wasn't like manslaughter in a vehicle. He killed someone. And he's got a weapon, he's got a shovel. And I'm like, I gotta take What? Oh, God. Fuck, man. So how am I going to, all right, man, I'm going to save your life. He's like, what do you mean? I said, look, dude, this is dangerous. You're gonna kill yourself. This is way too much. I appreciate the effort and stuff. Said, how about can I give you $100 and we'll call it even? You know, basically it was like guilt money, like just go away. Said, just do me a favor, help me shovel out my car. See that mound down there? I just need the car shoveled out. He's like, well, how are you gonna get out if the car's just shoveled out? And I'm like, oh, I'll worry about that later. So he takes off, and again, I'm a healthy guy. He bounces like a freaking white-tailed deer through the snow, gets to my car 10 minutes before my breathing ass got down there. I don't know how he did it. The guy was the most out-of-shape person, but he had some kind of superhuman chemical or something in him to help him do that. So he bought off on it, so thank God. He's not going to kill me. I'm not going to get slaughtered by the Craigslist snow shovel killer. And we'd shovel out my car, and we're talking. He's talking to me, and we almost get done, and I give him $100, and he appreciates it, but he's going to go back to his car at the cigarette outlet and load up his equipment, his shovel, and go on back to Manassas. He actually drove up from Manassas to do this. And he gave me one of those bro hugs, you know, like where you take one hand, you just kind of put it around someone. He was very adamant, really nice guy. And the car, by the way, had his grandmother in it, and his girlfriend, and a toddler. They were going to wait at the cigarette outlet until he was done shoveling my driveway. You can't make this up. That's the wonderful thing about Tails and Nails, because we all have these weird, like, odd, bizarre stories that it's like when he walked off into the distance and disappeared into the snowy mist, I was like, did that just happen? Did that really just happen? So I called the original guy who I turned down for the $350, and how much is it going to be? $350. So I was out $450 and, just to have my driveway plowed. And he got it done in like 45 minutes. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much.